other non-PC device to be able to use it.
All right, I am letting everybody in,
Woohoo! Yay!
and this one is in Brady Bunch view.
So people should turn their,
Yeah, I'm getting the individual speakers popping up, so it's actually not Brady Bunch on mine, but that's okay. It
Oh.
doesn't matter. You're the ones who are recording it, so you will see.
you can change your view.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Exactly. So
I
I'm just
would.
saying that whoever's doing it, as long as they got the right view. So we got the people.
Cool. Now I have put Ream on my phone. And I made it add it to my home screen so I can
Yeah.
read it whenever I want to without
Exactly.
having to find my way
Because
back.
The Patreon has one. It's like an old. I mean, Patreon's been around for years, so it's definitely no wonder. Yeah, but it's not the greatest app. It's okay. You know, I would call it like a B level, B minus type of app. So it doesn't give you everything, but it's okay. It's good enough to read. But
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
everybody.
Anybody and everybody can turn their video on because this is a chat.
Yeah, this is a casual chat, and you guys can ask me any questions you like about stuff. And I'll tell you more
Especially
about
Ream and
the
Patreon.
Yeah.
So we'd love to see your faces.
Yes.
There's Ellen and there's Kathleen and we got Rachel.
And you guys can also unmute yourselves. I mean, we want you to talk.
Yeah.
Right.
For those of you that have both Patreon and Ream, which do you like better?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Good question. I tend to like Ream a little better for reading myself.
I like Ream for its organization. But I like people, you know, they both have their plus and minuses, but I like Ream for the organizational quality of it.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't have to go through, the latest. And then, for example, if I want to read AOS from the beginning, I've got to go to the very beginning and just sift through and pick up the chapters. Whereas on Ream, I can just go to AOS and go from there.
Yeah, the thing about Ream is it's been a platform specifically designed for reading books. So it's an author platform. Now, Patreon, you may have heard of it before. It has musicians, entertainers, artists, comic book people, you know, just it's not just writers. So its focus is a little bit more generalized, but on Ream, it specifically was created by authors for authors and for readers. So it's a little bit more reader friendly, I would say. But
well, yeah, it is. I mean, Patreon, I know Alex, some of his Zoom friends, YouTube friends, they've got Patreons.
yeah,
And that's how they,
Patreon's been around for a long time, and a lot of people are familiar. It's kind of like Kickstarter. Everybody has heard of Kickstarter. It's a platform that's traditional. It's well established. So is Patreon. It's a good, well established platform for subscriptions. It's basically you are subscribing to stuff from the creator, either artistic stuff, like some artists post pictures, others have videos, a musical, songs, snippets, whatever. And of course, writers have books or stories, and that's what that's for. But the idea of a subscription service is great because a lot of us writers are just, either subsistence level or like really, this is what we need to be supported because a lot of times, people think of, well, it's just books, but you gotta get, to write books, you still have to make a living. So, because some of us cannot afford to do just, pop them out all the time. Like some authors are great about that. Like they can just pop out books, many books a year. And some of us don't do that.
well, some of those folks that pop out lots of books a year, their books are 100 to 200 pages. Your books are 1,000 pages.
True. That's true. One of my books is about 2 to 3 of others books. So yeah, they're big.
All right, Vera, Chris, one of our fans, is strictly doing chat because she says she has a cold and she's been sneezing and sniffling and doesn't want to disturb us and she looks terrible. So she doesn't want us to see what she looks like.
He or he, we don't
Anyway,
know.
she's asked in the chat, how does Ream compare to Patreon for you as an author?
They're
So
very close. They're very, very close. I personally have both right now. Now, this is why. I started out with Patreon because Ream didn't exist. I've been on Patreon for about a year, but Ream happened only like towards the middle of that year or so. So, and when I found out, I'm like, this is great. I really like it because personally, I think it's actually a little bit better for me. But I have a lot of people on Patreon, so I just want to keep and to make it kind of to give you a difference because some people don't want to go from one platform to the other. Well, I decided to duplicate my content except for tier number 3, which is the Shoelace Girl tier. I mean, the tiers are the same, like their names are the same on both. But what I've done is I've given you the opportunity on Patreon to have reader polls and to vote and direct some of our aspects of the story or just other things. Like, for example, I would say, what would you like to have the cat's name? You know, in Amrevet Days, there's a new cat. And would you like it to be called this, A, B, C, you know, whatever. And or would you like to have which sign, which zodiac, which Atlantean zodiac sign would you like to be done next? And so you get to vote on that. And I do it. And then I post the result on both platforms, get the same zodiac sign or whatever. But on Ream, what I've given you in that tier is the ability to see Easter eggs, which is it's another cool thing. Like either both are fun, you know, either you get to vote on polls or you get to see little nuggets of secret stuff about the Atlantis Grail. And I've given you things like what is the chicken sea? What's the deal with that little baby locket in the games where remember the locket that got one of the dead contenders, Gwen found it and she looked at it and she opened it, there's a baby inside.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and I think it was Lolo just grabbed it away from her and she threw it down the sewer and said, you know, it's buried. Well, that locket is not done because we're going to see the locket again. So it's a little bit of an Easter egg because that locket will show up again. It has some meaning. So there's little silly little, or like not silly, but they're like, you may think they don't mean much, but certain things appear in places where you don't know that they're going to show up again and they may have more significance. Like Logan's knife. We've seen Logan's knife and a lot of people were wondering, why does Logan Sangre, what's the deal with that knife? He's been walking on flipping this knife. Well, you get the background, you get a lot of the backstory of what's the deal with that knife in the Easter egg. So you find out why and how did, because in the books, we only know that Jeff's brother gave, Logan's brother gave him the knife, but you kind of get more of an idea of why and what that is. And
okay, Vera, I'm going to share my screen here. And this is showing the comparison chart.
That's a great chart, right? Right. That's
This is a
gives you
wonderful
an idea what you get with both platforms. Because you know, I understand some people don't want to, they want to wait for the book. They don't want to deal with like reading chapter by chapter. On the other hand, other people love it. Other people love reading serialized fiction. That's what this is. So it doesn't mean you can still buy, you know, Eos when it comes out, just like any other book like of my own. But in the meantime, if you want to support me, which helps me write this faster, and also if you want to read it now, then you get the chance to kind of follow these tiers. So they're all the same except for that tier I mentioned, number 3, and you see red is the Patreon, whatever you get in red, that's the version on Patreon, and purple is the Ream version. So that tier, Shoelace Girl, is what you get in that tier, in those 2 platforms. And you
but
get
I mean, I personally love, I just, you know, I love this chart because it just makes everything so easy for both of them. I
right.
mean,
The idea is the first tier for $3, that's the general standard, all the tag books. In other words, all the basic tag books, you're like AOS, all the prequel series, that level is for general audience. Now, if you want to start getting into the more adults, like you get that plus you get stuff in this text. See how you get the green? It shows you have that plus the other green button. So you get both things. So the idea is that you get everything in the previous tier and then something else in the new tier in addition. So you get to see all the sexy stuff in tier 2 and up. And then tier 3 and up, you get either to vote or you get Easter eggs. And then you get, after that, I believe, let's see what you have. We have ebooks. So you will get actual finished copies of ebooks, not just the rough drafts, because these things right now, what I'm posting for you on Ream and Patreon are first drafts. So they're pretty close to the final versions, but I tend to write very, very near final first drafts, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be changes. So whenever the final ebook editions come out, people in that tier are going to get actual ebooks of that final edition. So it's going to be a kind of a polished, a better version of those books, and so on. So then you get acknowledgements. That's the next tier, meaning that in the back of the book, you will get your name as a supporter. So thank you. Then you get the paperback editions, and then finally you get the hardcover. Now, again, to repeat that, if you're getting the hardcover editions, you're also getting the paperback, you're also getting acknowledged. So it's like everything in the previous tiers plus. So it is a pretty darn good deal there, because you're getting a lot of stuff. And as time goes along, I will be adding stuff. I will be maybe adding swag, like maybe stickers or special things that I actually send out to people. So it's just however it works, we will see what surprises the future will bring, because this is the Ream platform is very new. So I'm just learning to kind of move around it and see what options we have there. But Patreon is pretty old. It's out there.
Well,
But,
and it's the same content, so it's kind of, okay, well, which do I want to,
yeah.
which do I
Do you
want to
like
read
to
from?
read on a screen like a single, like a big book? Because on Ream it gives you all chapters in a row. You don't have to look around and jump. Now on Patreon you can use the collections feature. If you click on collection, then like each book is treated as a collection. So you can just, like, if you want AOS, you will click on the AOS button and then you will see all the AOS chapters there. So in that sense, that also, organizes it a little bit. But, they're very, very similar. So it's not that many differences. It's just personal. If you like to read, this screen looks better for you or that one. And I think you can change fonts. I think you can make, change the size of the font and the actual display. So it's not that different. But yeah.
Yeah, I started with Patreon, which, because you were on that first.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I had.
Right, and I've enjoyed that. I can't afford to do both, and I
Oh,
haven't.
believe me, I get it. And it's like, I think I jokingly said it. Yeah, I'd love for you to do both. It's like,
No, but I mean, I've just been trying to consider whether I should change it.
right. Well, one
Well,
thing you
and
can do
it's
is
kind of a personal choice. Do you want
Yeah.
to know Easter eggs, or do you want to participate in polls?
Right, I mean, if
Yeah.
you
So
decide,
Patreon has the polls, Ream has the Easter eggs.
right,
Right.
So if you can only afford
That's
one,
it. That's the only
make your
big difference.
choice.
And I can understand when people don't want to do either one, because hey, you're still getting your book at the end. When I'm done writing this, it'll be published, so you can like not even think about this stuff if you don't want to. But this is an option for people who want to, two things. You're reading it now, and you're supporting me as I write this. That's the whole thing about platforms, the subscription platforms. So, yep, that's
Well,
it.
in other words, Vera is not a starving artist, a starving writer.
I'm a
looking for-
starving writer. There you go. Even, those of us who are doing, like, even with the Atlantis Grail, which is doing pretty well overall, it's still, like poverty level, for most people. So, and because it's my full-time job, I don't have another job to keep me going. So either this, or I would have to go, go to the supermarket and we have checker. But you know what I'm saying? So this is just, it's a way to support your favorite or, just one of your favorite authors and other creative people, artists and whatever, and just, help make the product come about faster because you're making it happen. As I'm getting support from you guys, I can write instead of going crazy and thinking what other job or contract I need to take to get this done, to feed the cat. But
Well,
the
yeah, they kind
yeah,
of
those
need
little suckers
fed.
eat. They like to eat a lot and poo. But no, seriously, it's not just that because one I can say, oh, support me. No, you're getting you're getting your stuff. You're getting for for a pretty, especially on the first tier. Like if you can't really afford more than $3, that's okay, But you're getting the bulk of, you're getting most of the books. You're going to be getting. So it's Eos, Dea, Nyctos, Ghost, the Book of Everything, and Starlight. So you're going to get all the books as I will slowly, be writing them. People who don't want to wait, who don't want to pay as you're going, you can just wait and then you can buy the whole thing and then you have it. So it's up to you. And the good thing is having many choices for you. So it's better than having people sit there going, is she writing? Where is that store? Where is that book? I'm waiting and waiting. A
Well,
year has gone by.
You still
I
do
can
that.
I can remember the days
I know.
back in the beginning, when you were still doing Wattpad
Yeah.
and you would release a chapter. And then I would suddenly wake up about 3 o'clock in the morning, my time. And I would look on the forum. And then there would be Liz. Nancy, wake up, wake up. And I'm going, okay. Hasten, quiet.
Well, Wattpad has just something that I do not really like it anymore because it's really not safe. A lot of authors have had their stuff pirated and just, it's not a good place to do.
Hasten,
And
hasten, hasten, hasten.
yeah, so I am not really doing, I still have stuff that's on Wattpad. Most of, I've left the first book up there qualified because it is free in ebook everywhere anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I've kept half of Compete, and then it stops at the famous just before chapter 33, the infamous jump chapter, right?
Oh, and I've been reading some other stuff, and it seems like, Wattpad is more for the fanfic now than anything else.
It's a lot of that type of stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of fanfic, a lot of just, and a lot of also beginning writers, a lot of people, just young beginning writers, just, trying different things, and that's fine, that's good. But I figured I've had enough. I've been on there for however many years I was there, and it was no longer really working for me. So I said, that's enough. And then everybody and their mother has a Patreon and some other subscription platform. They have Substack, other things out there. And I said, what am I doing? Because here I am, people waiting, they want to read the books now. So let's do this. Let's do it, but not just throw it out into an unsafe environment like Wattpad, because it's really not a safe environment for your work. So this is much more secure, and because it's a paid platform, so it's not just anybody. I know who the people, like when people get on there, I know these are my readers, as opposed to some unknown quality off the internet. But that's how it is. Now, have you guys do you have any questions specifically about those platforms? Any other questions, besides the comparison?
Well, I will say that Patreon has a phone app for the people who really like that, and Ream does not. All Ream can do is you have to access it through either Chrome or Safari, and then you can save that link to your home screen so that you can get to it really quick, but it doesn't have an app for the people that matters for. It does not affect your ability to read it anywhere. It's just not a specific app is all.
Though if you follow instructions, it creates a little app-like thingy on your phone.
It's
or
it's
your
a it's a it's a way to save the link to your home screen.
Right,
It's still
so-
going to open Safari or Chrome, whichever one
Right.
you did it in. Yeah.
Right. But it
I
does-
just did that, so I know how it works.
Exactly. At least it's a decent workaround, so you can read your Ream stuff on your
Right,
phone.
exactly. And you don't have to keep, navigating to that page every time. That's what saving the home link will save you is
Right.
you don't have to go open Safari or open Chrome and then go to the website and then log in and all that. It saved
Right.
all that for you. So it just goes right there.
Exactly.
So I have a question for everybody that's on. What's been your experience using either Ream or Patreon? And do you do other things or just Vera? I only do Vera's things on those.
I have other people on Patreon as well.
I wish
Somebody asked about, was it airplane mode? Honestly, I don't know. I think it may, you may, but it depends on downloading your stuff, and I'm not sure if, that might be a question.
Not sure. Give me a second and I will try test that out on the Patreon thing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I was going to say it would be really nice, and I'm assuming Ream has the same issue. I don't know because I haven't played with Ream much, but I wish that Patreon had a way to bookmark where you were, like, because I'll get out and then I'll get back in and I'll go like, did I read that chapter or not? And even if I'm halfway through it,
Oh,
I
it
have to go
doesn't?
back and
Oh, interesting.
scroll. Huh?
Ream does it. Ream gets you back to where you were. So it's
Oh,
like-
really? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, the
Ream does that. I
Patreon
know for
does
a fact
not.
that it does, yeah.
You have to just go figure it out.
In fact, Ream gives you a little like a thermometer bar on the bottom saying to show you where you are, how far you've read in the
I don't think
book
I've ever
icon.
noticed
So
that.
if you see that there's empty space, there's a new chapter has been posted. So you click on that.
I would like to do Ream for that reason, but I wish they would get their app in the Google Play Store, just because when people put out individual apps, at least with the Google Play Store, they've done some checking to make sure there's no viruses or
Ream
malware.
doesn't have an
anything.
app at all, Carrie. That's what we were just saying. It's not an
It's
app.
not an app. It's a link to their. So you
You're
can set it
just-
up to,
Yeah, you're just linking to that website.
The
That's all it
website.
is.
Yeah,
To the-
it's safe.
the
It's the
specific
same as
book.
being on the Ream website.
Okay, well, then it's not going to really work very well, because I tried looking at it on my phone and there's things written over other things and things that are halfway on the screen and halfway not. And
Ooh,
maybe
mine's
it's just my
mine's
phone,
not-
but I wasn't having any luck with it at all. So
Carrie, did you follow those directions for getting that?
I
thing on?
did. I did. And yeah,
Interesting.
I don't know why it wasn't working. Maybe if I update,
But you
well,
know what?
my
That's
browser is usually pretty up to date, but
Right,
anyway.
that the good thing is like if you can get a screenshot of that ugliness, whatever it's doing to your screen, maybe I can send it to their support because they need to know this. If it's a bug or a glitch of some sort,
Yeah,
they should be told.
I'll see what I can do. I haven't looked at it before today, but I thought that I might like it, because that bugs me about Patreon, where you have to scroll through everything to find the chapter that you might have read last or whatever. That's kind of a pain.
Well,
So,
at least on Patreon, you can go to collections now. That's the new thing. Collections organize them into one. little-
Yeah, right. I mean, that
But it's
part's
still a
nice.
pain.
But you
Yeah.
still don't know where you left off.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
sometimes I got a call and I had to quit reading in the middle of 3/4 of the way through, but then I come back later because life, and then I
Yeah.
go, did I get a quarter way through this, halfway through? And then you have to like kind of scan it and figure out where you were,
Yeah.
which is annoying.
And
Yeah,
as
that's
as
definitely
you get
annoying.
more and more book in there, that gets harder and harder to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we're like on chapter 20, I believe, on EOS. So
21?
that's
For the person who asked if
Yeah.
Patreon works in airplane mode, I just gave that a try and it did. As long as you open it when you outside of airplane mode to let it download all of the stuff, then when you go into airplane mode, it'll still be there. It doesn't
Oh, that's
need to access it offline apparently. Because I opened up like the last 3 chapters and I could scroll through all of them. So yay.
good. That's good to know. Now-
Vera, are you planning to keep both of those going, or are you changing from Patreon to Ream, or are you gonna keep?
I have not decided yet. For now, I'm keeping them both going because I just want, first of all, I don't want to have people who are happy on Patreon to just to be told, hey, get off there and get to a different platform. Now, eventually I might transition to Ream just because it's authors only, it's dedicated to writing and books, but I'm perfectly okay for doing, because all I have to do is copy the same content in both places. So it's not a problem for me. Yeah, so for now, we're both. Now, eventually, I may even have like a poll for everyone, not even just people in the polls, area, but like people on Ream, just ask you, would you like me to go to one or the other? Like, do you have a preference? So,
I have a question on that regard for, which is better or different, aside from the fact that, one's polls and one's Easter eggs. Is one of them better for you in the end than the other one? Or is it about the same for you?
it's about the same, honestly. It's really hard to, like, each one has its own little quirks, and I get a little annoyed with posting stuff on Patreon when I first post a chapter, because it will otherwise email you the whole freaking chapter in your email, in the body of your email, which is weird. Like, why? Why would they do that? You don't want to
I
get
remember the first time you
Yeah.
did that. Vera, did you know that you're going, oh no?
and I don't want that, because it's like, that's actually not even safe. Think about it. The emails can be forwarded and they disappear, and
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose of you
Yeah.
having exclusive access to
it's
something. If it
exclusive.
comes in an email, you can just email somebody. Yeah.
Right. So it's a pain. I have to do a little workaround for that not to happen. But on Ream, you just get a link, which it should. It just says your chapter has been updated. Click, to read the chapter, which is fine. That's the safe, good way to do it. So I definitely prefer that. But otherwise, they're very, very similar. Pretty much similar. Now, do you guys have any other preferences or things that you may want me to do on these platforms? For example, do you want me to post maybe videos or readings? Like, because occasionally I've been posting recording, like when we had TagCon Greece and we did a reading there, I did like an exclusive kind of like a reading for people on the Patreon, before.
As much as you can do is great.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would, as time goes by, as things, for example, when else is finally done, and we'll give everyone who is on the ebook and higher, tiers, they will get their copies. But in the meantime, we will have other things. We will have the zodiac signs. We're gonna have, of course, Amre Ved Days is happening. That's for the sexy tier, as I call it.
Do
But
you post at the same time for both?
if I have a new chapter of whatever, they will, I will like open one, open another, yeah. So same day within the 10 or 12 minutes of each other. And I'm let's see, we have coming up next is the Amre Ved Days chapter. So that's gonna be next week, right after TagCon. And then I almost made it with 3 chapters of Eros last month, but I didn't. So the 3rd chapter of Eros will be actually for this month. So you will get that like probably in a week and a half. So first Amre Ved Days, and then you'll get Eros again. And then I may have another zodiac sign for you, because we did vote on the next one. So I'm probably gonna have that. Yep.
I don't know if it,
Go ahead, Courtney.
I don't know if it's just my Ream, because I just started Ream like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, if that. For the Amaret days, the chapters are out of order in the table of contents. So I actually read chapter 3 first, then chapter 2. I don't know if there's a way to flip that, because like if you start at the beginning, just scroll down.
Freaking way for me to do it. Unfortunately, it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Are you on Patreon? Did you say, or are you on Ream?
She
It's
said
on
Ream.
Ream. And
Wait.
so like when you click the start and you just keep scrolling to continue through the chapters, it shows chapter 3 first, and then you read chapter 2. So when I started chapter 3, I was like, what is going on?
This is on Ream?
Yes.
Weird. That is just strange. That could be a glitch of some sort. That is just so weird. I'm sorry about that. I will look into it because, and you're saying that's on Amravet days.
Yes, it goes chapter
Mhm.
1, 3, 2, 4, and then the rest are fine.
Weird. What about the introduction? Because there's another little chapter that comes first.
Yeah, the introduction is first, and then
Okay.
chapter 1. Hold on, now it's freaking out.
Yeah.
Then it goes 1, 3, 2, 4.
Wow, 1, 3, 2. Okay, I'm going to, one thing I may try is pretend edit it. Maybe it'll flip if I edit it again. Because it is possible that I may have edited a typo or something and then it saved it in a different order, which that shouldn't be happening. That's not good. But
Yeah,
I
I
will check. Yeah, thank
thought I
you
would
for letting me know.
share.
That's good to know. Okay.
Vera, I'll send you I just took a screenshot of it, so I'll send you I'll send it to you so you've got it in front of
As a
you.
reminder, yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
say, we have, we need to end this panel really soon, but somebody did have a good question, which I don't remember anybody answering, which was, are you gonna publish Amravet Days as a book?
yeah. That
Okay.
will be, but the thing is, remember, for now, Amravet Days is like a exclusive to the platforms because that's our sexy stuff. And it's like, by the time I'm done with this thing, because there's a lot, and it's just basically think of it as this extra book that's floating out there. It's not a requirement. You don't have to read it if you don't want to read that. You can just read, continue with the regular tag books. But eventually when it's done and it's going to be a big fat book is my book. Yes,
Eventually it'll be a
I
book.
will
yeah.
publish it and it will not be connected. I will publish it kind of like a separate book without having it numbered in the series because it's not numbered. It is its own little thing. So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, we need to cut this to an end, or sadly, and because we got to get ready for our 3 o'clock panel, which is going to be Michelle Thaller. So
Oh,
be
yes.
sure and join us. Everybody loves Michelle. She's great to listen to. And yeah, so check Discord for the link for the next Zoom session.
Yay. Thanks
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank
Hi,
you.
everyone.